This mice.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Out of the Ordinary with Jay, and I'm with Brian. And Brian, how old are you, buddy?
I am 54.
Okay, and where are you from originally?
Lincoln, Nebraska.
Lincoln, Nebraska. Okay, and are you still working, or I know you were in the military, but...
Yeah, yes, I was at UPS and then I was at Optum, and now,
okay.
All of them I was in managerial positions, and I was driving an hour plus each way, and it was taking such a toll on my body, right, in my life, and my I got a 13-year-old daughter and a 9-year-old boy, and one day I just had it all. I walked away from it all, and just happened to be driving home a mile from my house. Woodcase Fine Cabinetries had this thing that said Monday through Friday, 5:30 to 3. So I walked in there, and they said,
"It's yours.
We don't have anything with your skill set. We don't have." I'm like, "But I'm not asking to work my skill set. I'm working. I just want to
tell me what to do. I got skills. I'll help you."
Exactly. I'm a force multiplier. No matter what I do, I make it better. I do it better, and I try to make it better than everything else. And for the last 4 months, I've absolutely enjoyed it. I get to go home for lunch every day.
Nice.
I'm home to pick up my kids every day. I have every weekend free. So
okay,
it's amazing.
Perfect. Well, I wanted to get that out there to set the context for some answers. For some questions I'm going to ask you.
Absolutely.
And so I wanted to get your thoughts at 54 now. What are your thoughts on aging? What do you think about aging in general? Like aging gracefully, fighting it? What's the perfect age? Health? What is your thoughts just generally on aging?
Oh, I myself have gone through the spectrum of aging, right? So okay. I grew up very, very skinny like you. I was 160
Well,
pounds.
that's impossible.
I was very, very skinny. I was very skinny all through the military. And then when I got out, I started gaining a little bit of weight. And then, I came to Arizona at about 240. Went to the military about 250. After everything that happened in Afghanistan, I was angry at the world, and I got up to 350. Right, I was 350. I gave myself type 2 diabetes. I literally just destroyed my body, destroyed everything. And and until you have kids, you don't know what you don't know, and they saved my life. I mean, everything I want to do is because of my kids. So
meaning having kids, you're like, hey, listen, I got to get myself in better shape to be around.
Absolutely, right?
Yeah, I could see that.
And now I'm down to 270. So
when were you at your heaviest? When were you at 350? I
would say probably 2011, 12-ish.
Okay, so like 13, 14 years ago. Here's what's crazy about.
No, I would say I say about 4 years ago I was at my heaviest.
Okay, so 4 years ago you're
2017 I was at my heaviest. 2017 I was at my heaviest.
Okay, so that'd be almost 8 years ago, 7 years ago. What's crazy is age, yes, it's a number based on when you're born, I think, but I mean, wouldn't you make the argument that you're healthier now?
Oh,
and so that you can be a much healthier 54-year-old than you can be a not so healthy 47, 48-year-old. You know what I mean?
Well, and the reason why for me that made a difference is because I started listening. Right before, it's listening always to everything. Oh, I mean, my doctors right off the bat, you're pre-diabetic. You gave yourself that. No, I can't do that. I'm invincible. I just went through Afghanistan. I did this and I did that. I still can do this. And then it hits you. All of a sudden, they show you the facts and figures and stuff, and it hit me. I'm like, crap, right? So then it took about a year or two for it to settle in, right? Okay, I'm diabetic. My blood sugar's 250, right? Okay, what's that mean? I don't know what it means, right? I've always been healthy, and all of a sudden, there's that turning point. I'm like, okay. I listened, and then I used, right, which was available. And, to the VA and stuff. And I got my Libra 3 on, right? It shows your blood sugar, right? It's amazing.
Yeah,
me taking a sip of this Pepsi will take my blood sugar from 120 up to 200 in a matter of about 5 minutes.
Right. So you basically decided, hey, I want to be here for my kids, and so my health's important to me, and I'm going to not just pretend it's a certain way, and I'm going to listen to people.
Absolutely. I've done everything I wanted to do, but obviously there's reasons more reasons for me to be out there. I never thought I was going to rescue Amon, right? I never thought I was going to go back into the service, because I left the service. I had a break in service, and then I went back into the service. Never thought,
Yeah.
So I don't know what's going to happen down the next raid, but now I'm going to be ready for it, right?
Yeah.
Because you.
I like that. Would you say do you have a perfect age? What was your perfect age if you could pick when you were at your prime, or maybe you still got your prime in front of you? I don't know, but do you have like a,
depending on what it's for, right? For volleyball, I think I'm playing better volleyball than I did when I was 30. Yes, I could hammer the hell out of a ball and I could set really well, but I didn't have the heart, right? I watched. There's a video of me and Jason and Matt Olson, who was a top 10 AVP player, and Tim Cornelison playing in a King of the Beach, and I'm lazy. Oh my God. Holy cow, am I lazy, right? I'm playing with an AVP player and I'm still being lazy, It's just,
yeah.
I'm playing now, I'm playing 4s and 2s, and I'm putting way more heart than I ever have, Everything means something. It means, I was just happy to play volleyball back then, right?
Yeah.
I wasn't happy to win volleyball back then, because I played a lot of great volleyball. I played with a lot of great people, but I didn't win a lot.
Yeah.
Except for the one tournament, I played with John Moran, and we took Trevor and Matt Olson in the finals, the 3 games.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, but besides that,
it's getting hot here. Let me ask you this question back on aging.
Absolutely.
So supposing I showed up here with a magic pill, it's the only pill that exists.
Okay.
If I hand you this pill and you take it, you're granted immortality. But it's just for you. It's at this age, this just how you are now. You're immortal from here on out, but nobody else is. Would you take that pill?
No, no.
Why not?
I just want to see where life leads me to. What my life's going to be, because now at that point in time, that's the pill's life. That is the pill's responsibility. It's the pill's everything after that, right? If I do something, it's because the pill let me do that, right? It's not because me going forward, okay, everything I do now is because what my body lets me do, right? I got a brand new knee, and I got plates on my spine from, Afghanistan, but I still find ways to make things happen. I rescued Amon while having COVID in a hospital bed, but I did that. So I want to see what I can do, and I don't want someone else's to spoil that for me.
So we have another video where Brian describes basically it was kind of like a special mission or a covert mission to get out a guy who was Joe Biden's interpreter in Afghanistan, who was kind of left
actually
behind.
He was our interpreter, but we used him to help.
I got you
on the mission too.
Right, he was part of your guys' group.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right, I got you. Okay. Yeah. Okay, the answer to that. What would you do if, let's go the other way, what if you found out you only had 1 year to live, like right in this minute? I came to you with a paper and I said, I'm sorry, Brian, you got 1 year from this moment on. We're
going to Europe again. We're going to...
Whereabouts?
Now, you know what? I've been to Europe. I actually did in 97, when I got out of the service the first time. I wanted to go to college, and I wanted to do everything college, right? So I was a 27-year-old living in the dorms with all these 18, 19-year-old kids, right? 2 o'clock in the morning, that knock on the door. Hey, I need you to get beer for me. Yeah, all right.
I bet you were popular.
Oh, yes, I was. I just off track with myself. What was the question?
Oh, okay. We're talking about if you had 1 year left.
Oh, yeah. So I go where I wouldn't go. I haven't been to Machu Picchu. I haven't been to the top of there. Antarctica, I would. That's the last continent I haven't been on, is Antarctica.
So you'd want to see as much as possible before you were done.
Just to make sure that. And I think it's selfish. That's a great question, because my big thing for me is always my memories, right? I got so many memories of so much stuff. You talk to me, and most of the stuff is all music based too, right? I remember sitting at my first varsity basketball game in '96, listening to Rock Me Amadeus, right? songs all bring me to different parts of life. And
I think that's what songs do.
But it's my memories. It's my memories are important. What's the legacy that I'm going to bring? And that's a hard thing for me right now because of the situation I'm in. Right. I love my wife and I love my kids and all my family. Everyone's back in Nebraska. Right. So if I did take 1 year and I did die here, right, the only people that I have here are my wife and 2 kids.
Yeah.
Who's going to come after all the stuff I did? Who's going to come to my grave to see me? I mean, is that narcissistic, or what's the word I'm looking for?
No, I think that's a pretty normal thing. I just wonder. Yeah, I mean, I think that's a pretty normal thing. I think people think about legacy stuff all the time. I think that's pretty normal.
Legacy stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So, if you could travel back in time, what would you change? Anything?
Yes. So, senior year of high school, I didn't have to go play basketball with the guys, but because I did, I fractured my foot. I hairline fractured my foot, and because I hairline fractured my foot, I had a 40+ inch vertical. I could dunk the ball in any position. I could stand 2 foot, go up and dunk the ball. But because of that, I lost probably about 20 inches of vertical.
That's a lot.
And I think that would have been the point. I didn't have to go that day, and that's one, and that changed a lot of things. It
would have helped your volleyball career.
Exactly.
That's for sure. All right. This is kind of a big one, but before we answer this question, I'm going to move this real quick. So hold on. Okay, so we're back. Brian, to you, what is the this is a tough question, but I'm going to ask it anyways. What is the purpose of life? Do you have any sort of guiding principle or anything? Is there a purpose to life? You can say pass on any of these, by the way.
No, that'd be unfair to you and to the people listening, and to me, even me. I mean, why would I didn't back down from getting a guy out of Afghanistan. Why would I back down from a simple question like that, right?
Because I got a tough question. No, just kidding. Anyway,
the purpose of life. Everyone has a purpose and meaning in life, right? Like how do I know all the little stuff happened just so I can get a mon out, right? Because if I didn't do this, then I wouldn't have that skill set. If I didn't do this, I wouldn't have that skill set.
Right.
So for me right now, I feel a little empty because I feel like I used my meaning of life already because I got that individual out of Afghanistan because I used all the skill sets. Now I'm just kind of spinning my mills and I don't know.
I got it. I got one for you.
There you go.
I got one for you.
No, go.
So this happens a lot. Not necessarily. You have your own unique background with your military service and things that you've done, but I find a lot of people in their 40s and 50s, somewhere in that age, they're like, I don't know what my purpose is anymore. I don't have a passion and blah 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 blah. Right? Because maybe they had their career and it's over, or maybe they had a marriage that washed out, or their kids are gone, or whatever. And so, but this is my fun one. My purpose is to find a purpose.
Find a purpose.
I don't know. It's a tough question, man.
I do have an answer because I thought about it a lot. It's like I would love to teach someone the information I know. So
that's good.
I wasn't the best volleyball, but I was a very good volleyball player, right? I did a couple things very well. I blocked very well, and I set very well, and I hit very well. But playing the game, I didn't play very well, right? I would love to have an individual who just wants to do it and it actually applies it. Like to me, I've broken down and thought about blocking so much. And the simpleness of blocking is, go up and touch the ball first. And that's all I did. I used to go up fast, get my hands over hard, and try to touch the ball before they touch the ball. And because of that, I got a lot of touches on balls and a lot of blocks on balls.
So do you want to be a coach?
No, I don't. Not yet. I don't think, because if I become a coach, then that admits that I can't play anymore, and I still have a lot to play.
Oh, I guess that's true, because there's that old saying, right? Those who don't coach or whatever.
Exactly.
But there's a lot of player coaches in Arizona.
So, absolutely.
Anyway,
yeah.
Okay. So what is something a person can do to stay healthy?
Is to use what we have, right? People want to do it themselves and want to be, I always said, I can do it. I can lose my weight myself, and never did, right? It's when I got the Libra 3, and started monitoring my blood sugar and saw what a simple thing does to my, simple sugar does to my body. A single pop takes me from 120 to 220 in 5 minutes, right?
Hey, Libra 3, we want some sponsorship.
There you go. Yeah, absolutely.
I'll hook you up if we ever get anything. Yeah, no, that's I like that. By the way, if you're liking this video or any of the other ones, please like and subscribe. We appreciate it.
And smashing the notification so every time it comes up.
There you go. He knows the deal. Exactly. So this is a good question for you, and take your time on it. But like, I have this personal opinion. This is just my own opinion that, you know, life's not always sunshine and rainbows. It's pretty hard sometimes. You know, it could be bodily pain, physical pain. Maybe you're in a job you don't like. Maybe you got some family issues. Like life can be pretty rough sometimes, I feel. I mean, I'm positive about life generally, but it's just not so easy all the time. I guess my question is, do you have any tips at all, a tip to make life a little bit easier? Anything that you would say, like, could give someone...
Find out who you are. Find out what you like and what you want to do. Everyone is so consumed and caught up what everyone else thinks about them. And that's how it is, you know. From my close people I know, it's not never, they can't tell me what they like. I tell you exactly. I love playing volleyball. I love playing twos. I love playing fours. I love setting. I love traveling. I love taking my Jeep out. You know, I know who I am and what I like.
So what you're saying is figure out more of what you actually like, and don't worry as much about what other people are doing.
Exactly, 100%.
I like that,
because they're you know, being a Christian, you know, when I get to the gates, right? What did you do, right? You know, besides the fact I'm a Christian, and you know, it's about how I acted, who I was. You know, was I someone that someone wants to one little part of my life that someone might take, you know, and say, okay, well, I might try that, or something like that, right? I don't know, but you got to find you. You got to figure out who you is, and I think we lost that, you know, through social media. We're more consumed about, you know, what we see as opposed to who we are, you know?
Yeah, and kind of like along those lines, you mentioned things about like being true to yourself or figuring out what you like. You've talked about, like, you know, getting help and listening to like other people, particularly as it related to like your own health and stuff like that. Like, do you, like, what's the best way to, like, say you were talking to your other former self, Brian, older Brian's talking to younger Brian when Brian was a little bit, maybe his health wasn't as good or whatever. Like, what could you tell old Brian to help him do better and not necessarily like harm himself? You know what I mean? Like,
no, and that's the whole thing is about finding out who I was, right? At the time, I was, you know, my mom and dad wanted me to be military, you know, and people wanted me to do this, and people wanted me to do that, and I spent a lot of effort and time, and you know, trying to make other people happy, and I didn't know who I was. I never really knew who Brian Ginthy was until, you know, I took that time. I literally, you know, what do I like? What do I like?
You know, it reminds me of I actually came up with this little quote. It was my own little quote, shout out to me, that I came up with. But it was basically, the quote is basically something like, sacrificing your health for someone else doesn't make any sense unless it's a kidney.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like, you pretty much need to be, if you like, one of the best ways you can be good to your family, good to your friends, and good to other people is be good to yourself.
Yeah, 100% be good to yourself. And you can't be good to yourself if you don't know yourself.
Right. I mean, you can't, it's hard to help people if you're, you know, not okay.
You're trying to make everyone else, you know, around you.
Yeah,
100%.
Okay, so what's the favorite place you've ever lived or been to, and why? I know you mentioned Europe earlier. I know you've done, obviously, tours of duty in the military. I'm sure probably some of those places are not your favorite, but
no, they actually were. Really isn't a place that I wouldn't. They all had good memories, like going into Desert Storm, going into Saudi Arabia, into Tent City, and they had these little outhouse bathrooms where there were just 4 toilet holes that are cut in the wood, and you had to poop next to the person next to you. You know, that was awesome.
Yeah, that sounds fun. Okay, let me ask it a different way. I'm going to ask you a different way. If money was no object, and you could bring anyone with you, so money's no object, you could bring whoever you want with you, where would you live?
See, and I think the important part is that you bring something with you, because what happened is I've done a lot of stuff by myself that are mine. That it's I would love to share it with a person, and everyone. Lots of people love to listen to it, but they can't they don't know what it's like to live in Czech Republic. I did a study abroad in Alamos, Czech Republic. Love it.
Wow.
Spent some time in Egypt, right, in Cairo.
Wow.
But I can't explain to you if you've never been there. Yeah, I can explain how pretty it is. I can say the pyramids, it's what you see on TV. They're pretty, right?
So would you end up
to have someone, a partner there, a battle buddy there, a best friend there, who can, and
share it with.
I share it with, and I have several of them now, and I'm gonna give a shout out to Harold Johnson, who is my adventure buddy now, right? On a spurge of a dime, I'll say, hey, bro, we need to go check out this waterfall. We need to go check out this. And he'll say, make every chance to say, absolutely, let's do it.
You know what that reminds me of is, like, I agree with you on travel, because, like, I've done a fair amount of solo travel the last probably 5 years or so. And even though I might see the most beautiful, whatever, waterfall or forest scene or store or whatever, I'll always say, like, oh man, that's amazing. But who would really like this is X, or who would really get a kick out of this? And so I'm always a little bit bummed, even though I'm enjoying it. I know I'd enjoy it a lot more if I was with somebody that, I knew they'd really dig it.
Absolutely.
Anyway.
But it's also a double-edged sword, because now, I've seen stuff that has tainted me for now, like, with recycling, it's more of a status symbol. Oh, I recycle. Okay. But what good is, people tell you that's good for the earth. Yeah. Okay, here in this moment, in this little bubble right here, but there's a place off of Somalia that I physically seen, 10-mile by 20-mile strip where it's pure oil and gasoline in the ocean. Because what they do is they take these old, big, huge boats, and run them up onto the beach and cut them down. They don't drain the oil first. They just drain them into the ocean, right? I've been to northern Bohemia in the Czech Republic, where they burn brown coal. Brown coal is and if you look at the ozone layer, where the holes in the ozone layer are, that's above the brown coal burning sites in northern Bulgaria or northern Czech Republic. I've seen this stuff. So how is me taking this one bottle, putting it in a trash can so we can give that to China, or whatever, right? It's going to affect.
Well, I'll tell you,
it's the little butterfly effect, but there's a huge monster out there that it's really unexchangeable.
What bugs me, or not, but I'll give you like a little bit of my O2 on some recycling stuff. It's like, there wasn't that long ago, like our parents' generation, when, orange juice came in a little frozen thing. It was like, frozen concentrate. And that one little thing that was in cardboard.
Oh yeah, you take the water, you put it in the can.
Yeah, that one little cardboard thing would turn this thing. There wasn't a lot of plastic then. Way back in the day, they used to deliver milk to the doors and all these things. And so it's like
in the glass.
And right, so it's like it's very different. But like, where I live, they were recycling almost everything for the longest period of time. Like, you put almost everything in the recycling. And then we get this notice like 5 years later, and they're like, I'm sorry, we can only take cardboard and aluminum cans. Everything else has been not working. And I'm like, so for 5 years, we've been giving you all this stuff, you've been doing nothing with it. Like, on the one hand, I'm like, I don't see any downside to trying to recycle. It just seems like something we could do, and it doesn't take that much effort.
No, absolutely.
But on the other hand, like get your crap together, people. This is not rocket science. Like, either like, you know what I mean? Like, make an impact or don't. But like, anyway, it just kind of bugs me. I'm I like to know that if I'm trying to be good and do good, that it's going to some benefit. It's not just, me looking like an idiot running through the motions. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely, 100%.
Anyway.
In military advice, the depleted uranium rounds that we're shooting out that are buried in the rounds that we're killing. It's just there's way more damage than there is good being done out there, and
it's crazy that because I've also heard you mentioned the thing with all the oil in the water, because I've heard these things of like, miles long ocean plastic islands in the ocean.
Absolutely,
like, that's just wild to me, man. That's just crazy. Anyways, okay, so do you ever have like inner monologues? Like, you ever get inner monologues, like where you're just like, we're talking right now, but I'm a little bit boring, and so now you start thinking about your car or what you're gonna have for lunch? You ever get any of those?
Every second, every day. It's hard.
Yeah. What do you think about? What do you think those are? What do you think about that?
Is it OCD? Is it?
I mean, I'm sure at heightened levels it probably is.
Do I always need to be doing something? Is it? It's not being in the moment,
that's for sure.
And that's an issue that we all have to have, and that's an issue that we need to really, for me as personal, is just to really try to be more into the moment, right?
Yeah.
As opposed to, well, I did this, so I can't do this or do that, right? And that's what the whole recycling thing, right? I need to be in the moment of now. Yes, I have all this freaking knowledge, and I've seen all the stuff, the bad that's happened out there, but why can't I just be in the moment and take this and put it in the recycling thing?
You know who's in the moment real well? Kids.
Oh, yes, they are.
They are money.
Oh,
they can be doing their one thing, then one thing distracts them, and boop, now they're in that new moment.
They're in that new moment. They give 100% in the moment.
That is a fact. I do wonder sometimes, like, and I'm just spitballing with you, but I do wonder sometimes if, like, some of these inner monologues come with adulthood, because adulthood comes with responsibilities. Like, when you're a kid, you don't have a mortgage payment, you don't have a car payment, you don't have insurance, you're not worried about arthritis or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, when you're a kid,
but they can also become from experience too of what you've done. You know, yes, it's responsibility.
That's true.
But I'm not inner monologuing.
Yeah.
My responsibility to do this. It's about, okay, you said something that triggered a branch in the timeline of me, and now I'm thinking down that timeline of all that stuff that because of that, you know, this is what happened.
Yeah, it's just weird because you see anxiety as they get older. You know, you don't really hear about little kids having anxiety. Not really. I mean, some do, I guess. But anyway, maybe we just learn as we get older. We realize more about the world and know there's more to worry about. I don't know. Anyway, all right, Brian. Thanks for the interview, buddy.
No,
really
thank you. Thank you very much. Wait. Yeah. Let's make sure we go to Out of Ordinary. I'll be posting this on my channel too, with his permission. Our channel.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, so you could just type in the @ OOTOWJ, which stands for Out of the Ordinary with Jay, and please come check us out and help us grow this channel. That'd be awesome. Thanks, Brian.
Absolutely.